Hi, my name is Mike Whalen. I work for the city of Arvada in Colorado. I am the technical analyst on the IT team. Essentially, that means that I work with projects and I look at what projects we ultimately want to do, projects we shouldn't do, try to determine what's going to work within our infrastructure, what's not going to work in our environments, and make a strategic decision. So Discover was a free module that came with Oracle EBS when it first came out 15 some odd years ago, 20 years ago. And it was the reporting module that everyone used to actually run all the reports, financial, procurement, you name it. Recently they've decided to de-support Discover, which essentially means that they are no longer going to continue the support of it. So basically that means that if it breaks after an upgrade, it's going to not be supported by Oracle. So with that said, the reporting module, the thing that you use to put out financial reports, is going to no longer be supported and bulletproof from Oracle. Essentially, if it breaks after an upgrade, you're in a position to have a broken report and pay someone to come in and fix it. So after we made the decision that it's getting de-supported, we really couldn't live with a reporting module that didn't work anymore. We had to look at what options were out there. The first one, obviously, we came across was Oracle's solution, which is the Business Intelligence Enterprise, OBIEE. We looked at a couple other ones, and ultimately the range between options were $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, all the way up to $1 million plus. Being a municipality, we really have to be cognizant of what we're spending, but also we have to look at requirements. I mean, do we really truly need the biggest and baddest tool out there? And the truth was, we really didn't. Once we looked at what tools we wanted, we kind of fell more on the more modest scale. So we threw a solicitation out to the public, got 4 or 5 that really worked for us, demoed the products, came back, and ultimately came down to 2 or 3, took a democratic vote, and selected Polaris. It worked for us as far as timeline, for cost, for basically ease of implementation. We learned a lot going through the process. The big lesson we learned was selecting the right team. It's really easy when you're dropping this much money on a project to select all of the senior directors. Unfortunately, you want to make sure you also mix in people who are actually using this product, people who are creating reports, digesting reports, people who are really kind of in the thick of it. So, or at the very least in ours, a good mix between high-level users, low-level users, and ultimately IT, people designing the users. So making sure that your project team is well-diverse in who you're selecting. Another lesson learned is training. A lot of projects, as I'm finding out in project management, is that you really over budget on time and on what you're going to spend, and everyone almost always forgets to plan for training, saying, oh, we'll do it at the very end, it'll be the last thing we do, and it ends up being not only the most important but the biggest time suck in any project. So it's the one thing that you want to start planning as early as possible, and you also want to make sure that it's the one thing that you do consistently. Lastly, I think it's really important that communication happens. A lot of people are really concerned about delivering a full project and delivering something that's bulletproof, and in software development that just never happens. So communicate throughout your project. Hey, we just purchased a system, was something we should have done, we never did. Learning to kind of maybe even give it a weekly update. What we did was we held a weekly scrum where it was a 15-minute meeting. Anyone in the organization who wanted to attend could, and we just would talk about here's what we did last week and here's what we're doing next week. Those are 3 things that I think were crucial in getting a new tool in the city and moving forward with it. With all that said, I think it's really important to make sure that you look at the projects that you need to do, make sure that you're not just selecting any project, but you're ultimately selecting the right project for the right people at the right time. So, thank you.